But he's
PA,
talking.
PA to Honorable Msibi, you can now please call Honorable Msibi just to connect, just to observe all these activities. Thank you.
No, I will use this thing. Honorable members and members of the public, good morning. We just want to report that we have experienced a small problem. The Deputy Speaker is delayed. She had a car breakdown, but we have arranged an alternative car to collect her. So she will be here very soon. If we could wait for 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you.
There will be now an opportunity for silence prayer or meditation. We may be seated. Are there any member statement? Honorable Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The African National Congress would like to applaud the Department of Public Works, Road and Transport under the leadership of Meg Lanch Namarian in appointing the panel of experienced employees from the transport infrastructure section to visit various districts in the province for road inspection that started from the 30th of May 2022 and expected to be completed on the 10th of June 2022. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the purpose of this visit is to verify and, if necessary, adjust and prioritize maintenance plans roads. The panel members comprise of consultants, chief engineers, technicians from the head office and district offices. Honorable Deputy Speaker, part of the team's assignment is to compile a report of preliminary remedial interventions, roads to be resealed, roads to be patched, and be prioritized in the 2022-2023 financial year. And the same exercise will include both cool haulage and non-cool haulage roads. This is a step in the right direction as all roads maintenance teams and construction unit will be resuscitated as part of building the capacity of state. I thank you.
Thank you. I don't see the leader of government and the MEC for the department. I'll ask MEC Manzini to respond.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Indeed, we as a provincial government, we are having a program that will make sure that after the heavy rains that we have experienced in the province, we make sure that access for the people of Mpumalanga, of course working with the national department in terms of national road, provincial road, and also municipal road, our people do get access. So we'll continue to do that. Umphakathi wakithi ubeketele kancane sitawukhona ukuthi sifikelele yonke indzawo la singakafiki khona sitawufika siwuhulumende waseMpumalanga. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Are there any member statement? Honorable Bisi.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Deputy Speaker. The ANC would like to laud the Department of Agriculture for its sterling work in the implementing of most of its programs, such as the Fortune 40 Young Incubation. The recent visit by the delegation from the Northern Cape to explore farm projects by the department bears testimony for its optimal performance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the delegation from the Northern Cape came to explore and benchmark the implementation of the Fortune 40 Young Farm Incubation Program, the Postrand Fortune 40 Agricultural Project in Bombela, and the Babaton Fortune 40 Vegetable Project, the Dahakral Fortune 40 Pigari, to mention but a few. There is no doubt that the delegation has taken home some valuable experience and also obtained lessons on the incubation model. We want to commend the department wish to extend its appreciation to the department for such an extraordinary work which is recognized by the province. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Lubisi. Are there any member statement? Honorable Grobler. Oh, sorry, respond, MEC Shiba.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. The Fortune 40 program is our pride as Mpumalanga Province. Deputy Speaker, we are targeting the youth and they are doing very well. And we are so proud because even in Minmek, they are talking about it. That is why they are coming to the province to benchmark, especially this month when we are celebrating the Youth Month. Deputy Speaker, we are planning to integrate the youth from the Fortune 40 to their farmers so that they can be able, especially in terms of job creation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Shiba. Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Let me greet the House at the beginning of this few sittings that we're going to have for a long day. Let me also greet the members of the Executive. I won't forget you like the Deputy Speaker almost forgot you, MEC. I also wanted to greet the member of the leader of the official opposition, but I haven't seen him in quite a while. Deputy Speaker, maybe we must just check in on Honourable Sidibe. I really haven't seen him in a sitting for a long time. Anyway, Deputy Speaker, I rise to deliver a member statement on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Deputy Speaker, the continual escalating Eskom debt is crippling the municipalities in the province and it's hindering service delivery to the residents of this province. The Democratic Alliance in the province is extremely concerned that presently 10 municipalities owe Eskom over 13 billion rand, with the highest contributors being eMalahleni, Governor Mbeki, Tabacheu, and the city of Mbombela. How can a municipality like eMalahleni and Governor Mbeki owe Eskom over 5 billion and over 3 billion rand, respectively? Honourable Deputy Speaker, the residents of Mkondo, Lekwa, Msukalikwa, Governor Mbeki, and the likes are held at ransom by Eskom for surpassing the notified maximum demand, and because of which they are given set load shedding. This is detrimental for many businesses and the livelihoods of our residents. As I have detailed some of the debt we have with Eskom, I would like to ask the MEC the following. MEC, firstly, how far are we into ring-fencing a portion of the local municipalities' budgets to allow payments to Eskom? Secondly, when will Eskom be allowed to supply electricity directly to consumers? And thirdly, will the provincial government consider opening the way for independent power producers as the DA does in the Western Cape? If so, by when? I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Ndlovu.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Grobler. I thought that we dealt with this matter when we were invited to meet with the Portfolio Committee, because the very same matter was raised, but I am going to respond. The Eskom debt, let me acknowledge that it's a challenge and we must have to deal with it. We are engaging with Eskom and also municipalities to develop the municipality payment plans on Eskom debt. We hope that at the end of the day, Eskom and our municipalities will be able to reach an amicable solution. But we want to invite all of us that we must be part of the Masakane campaign. We know that our people are not paying their Eskom accounts. We know that they are also meter bridges, that we know. So all of us who must declare war on meter bridges. So this is what we want to request. We understand the concern. Your concern is also our concern as a department. We are dealing with this matter. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Ndlovu. Are there any member statement, Honorable Weber?
Madam Speaker, I take this opportunity to greet my friends and to greet my foes. Madam Speaker, I've already had some informal discussions with members of the executive here. Madam Speaker, I battle to read speeches, but I am compelled to do so, and let me try. But this comes from my heart. It's only put in writing, but I'll do my best. This week, yet another headline in the news told the tragic story of a 24-year-old woman and her 2-year-old child murdered in this province. The mother and daughter were found dead on Monday at their home in Siatamba informal settlement, Balfour. This follows scarcely a month after the brutal killing of a 6-year-old Bontle Mashiane. Bontle's lifeless body was discovered in a thick bush about 2 kilometers from her home. In the same month, Hilary Gadi was assaulted and murdered. Where will this end? The Freedom Front Plus condemns any form of violence against women and children. This House must now drastically intervene to ensure the safety of those vulnerable to violence. We must work together with police, prosecutors, and courts to ensure that those who hurt and abuse others are arrested and convicted. But, Madam Speaker, this is not something that we can leave to the police. This is not something that we can leave to the courts. This is a community issue. This is who we are. Do you realize that this is what we as South Africans and we are residents of Mpumalanga are? We must address this. We must teach our children. Thina sifuna ukuthi sikhulise ingane zethu ukuthi zihloniphe zingakwenzi lokho. Masibambisana sonke konke lokho kuyophela. Singakushiyi lokho ukuthi kuye emapholiseni. Singashiyi lokho ukuthi kuthethwe emthethweni. Funa ukuthi siyibambe thina. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Weber. Honorable MEC Shongwe.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Indeed, the same motion was raised. A motion like that was raised in the previous sitting, where we indicated as government that we are committed to fight the scourge of gender-based violence. Yes, it is true that it is not the issue of government or police alone, it is a community issue. We agree with you, and we further said it's a cross-cutting issue. It requires all of us, even from different political parties, to work together to make sure that together with our communities, we fight this scourge. At the same time, we must continue to support our law enforcement agencies when they perform the issues of investigation and arrest. As I want to report here that Bontle will be buried this coming Saturday. The DNA has been completed and the funeral will be held this coming Saturday. So we invite everyone that is concerned about the issue of gender-based violence, even yourself, Honorable Weber, to come and attend that funeral so that people can see that, yes, all of us, we are working together and we want to see this thing being defeated. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Shongwe. Are there any member statement? None. Executive statement? Are there any executive statement? None. Motion without notice? Are there any motion without notice? Honorable Chief Whip.
Greetings to you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Greetings to the members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, and members of the public. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise to table a motion without notice, which is made in terms of Rule 84 to further the objects of Rule 4. I, Fana Vincent Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, table a notice without motion in terms of Rule 84.1b of the Rules and Orders of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature that at this sitting of the 9th of June 2022, I move that the House notes that the policy and budget speech for the 2022-2023 financial year shall be tabled by the Honorable Premier, by the Speaker and members of the Executive Council during the sitting of the House as per the order paper to the sitting of the 9th, 10th and 14th of June 2022. I can see the legal department wants to change it there. Should I continue, Honorable Speaker?
Continue.
We further note that in terms of Rule 191, that provides that each member of the Executive Council must, on the day and time determined by the Honorable Speaker, deliver a policy speech and table a budget for his or her department, whereafter the Speaker must call for a debate on the speech and the budget. I therefore, Honorable Deputy Speaker, move that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4, Sub-Rule 1, to suspend the provision of Rule 191 and consequently not debate the policy and budget speech for the following votes. Vote 1, Office of the Premier. Vote 2, Provincial Legislature. Vote 3, Provincial Treasury. Vote 5, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land, Environmental Affairs. Vote 6, Department of Economic Development and Tourism. Vote 9, Department of Community Safety, Security and Licensing. Vote 11, Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation. Vote 12, Department of Social Development. And vote 13, Department of Human Settlement. Honorable Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. That was the formal motion, Chief Whip, but we now ask the question whether the House agreed to adopt the motion as tabled by Honorable Mlombo. So agreed. Any motion without notice? Honorable Mashigo.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Executive Members, members of the Provincial Legislature and the public. I rise to move a motion without notice on behalf of the African National Congress to appreciate the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Honorable Candid Mashigo Dlamini, with members of the diplomatic community who donated much needed study materials to Prof. S.S. Ripinga Secondary School in Nkomas. During her visit, Mashigo Dlamini donated laptops to 6 top achieving learners. Study materials, food parcels, blankets, and toiletries were also donated to the rest of grade 12 learners to aid them during the study camp. Noting that she indicated that a visit to the school with ambassadors is not only a humanitarian mission, but it is a way of fostering friendships amongst nations. The diplomatic community is necessary to foster ties and relationships as it makes it easier for South Africans to study overseas. Further noting that she emphasized the importance of education and encouraged learners to work hard to become better persons, and that the study materials and laptops must be utilized to educational reasons. The donation of computers will indeed aid teaching and learning. It is on this basis the ANC moved that this House appreciate the donation by the Deputy Minister together with the diplomatic community. So I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Mashiko. The question is whether the House is agreed to adopt the motion. It's so agreed. Next, a motion without notice. Honorable Grobler.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I rise to deliver a motion without notice on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Noting that the crime stats, which was released for the fourth quarter of 2022, painted a grim outlook for the province as it revealed that crimes relating to kidnapping, rape, sexual offences and stock theft in the province increased. There was previously just a statement about this as well, Deputy Speaker. Further noting that during the period which was assessed, Delmas was recognized as a kidnapping hotspot. And this is the second highest area of kidnapping, hijackings in the country. We find it extremely concerning that in the space of the year, kidnapping cases in Delmas doubled to 53 cases being reported since 2021-2022. During September last year, it was also reported that there was a group of people who impersonated traffic and police officials in the municipality in order to carry out robberies and kidnappings on the N12, the R50 and the R42. Honourable Deputy Speaker, such instances is extremely scary. It places the lives of our residents at risk and it calls on police to safeguard the citizenry from such. Given the above, I call on the House to firstly devise a strategy to deal with hijacking and robbery of drivers in Delmas on the N12, R50 and R42. Secondly, to devise a strategy to deal with the senseless killing and robbery of residents who use the N4. And lastly, to increase police visibility in areas marked as hijacking hotspots and also areas which are prone to car spiking incidents. I so move.
So agreed. Any motion without notice? Honourable Chief Whip.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. I rise to move a motion without notice made in terms of Rule 83 to further the object of Rule 4. I, Fana Vincent Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, table a notice without motion that the House, number one, note that the reports of the Portfolio Committee that are mentioned below regarding the 2022-2023 budget votes and annual performance reports will be tabled in today's sitting and the sitting of the 10th of June as per the order paper. The report of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, and Land and Environmental Affairs, the report on Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development, which is vote 10, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sport, and Recreation on vote 11, the report on Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sports and Recreation on vote 7, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Cooperative Government, Traditional Affairs, which is vote 13, Department of Human Settlement, the report of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Cooperative Governments and Traditional Affairs on vote 4. Further note that Rule 190, Sub-Rule 6 of the Rules and Orders of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature provides that the report of the Portfolio Committee must be circulated to all members at least 48 hours before the debate. Honourable Deputy Speaker, I therefore move that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4, Sub-Rule 1, to suspend the provision of Rule 190, Sub-Rule 6, and allow the reports of the above-mentioned Portfolio Committee to be tabled for consideration by this August House during the sitting of today and the sitting of the 10th of June 2022. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as tabled. It's so agreed. Any motion without notice? Honorable Nyembe.
Greetings to the Honorable Deputy Speaker and the House at large. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to raise the motion without notice that the EFF is very happy ngomsebenzi lomuhle owenziwe yi-SIU ngokubopha eshodiwa kaKhokta usamukelo ngubani. Siyinhlangano ye-EFF sithi abaqhubeke nomsebenzi lomuhle baze babophe nosopolitiki bona bakhipha ama-instruction. Angithi nina maqabane kaThambo niyathumana. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. The motion defeated. Next motion, are there any Honorable Weber?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus to deliver a motion, a unanimously agreed to motion without notice. I hereby move on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus that the use of consultants for financial reporting comes to an end. We find it concerning that 14 municipalities used financial reporting consultants yearly for the past few years of administration. This meant that a total of 608 million was spent on these consultants over administration. Despite this money spent, the Auditor General found that in general these consultants were not even effective. 50% of this problem was because the work of these consultants were not properly reviewed. There was also inadequate record keeping and poor project management. It is time that this House ensures that all critical vacancies are filled and the lack of skills within municipalities are addressed. I so move, Madam Deputy Speaker.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as tabled. It's so agreed. Are there any formal motion? Chief Whip is already rendered the formal motion. We now going to. Oh, are there any notices of motion? Yeah. None. Yeah, and then order of the day. Can the Secretary read the first order of the day?
Order number 1, Policy and Budget Speech on Vote 5, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs.
I'll now call the MEC of Agriculture, Rural and Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable MEC Shiba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Premier Mary Philip Mtsweni-Tsipane, Honorable members of the Executive Council, honorable members of the provincial legislature, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Bill Lubisi, executive mayors from the district and local municipalities, the Chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders and Traditional Leaders present, the Director General, Mr. N.M. Mampuru, the HOD of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Mr. C.M. Chunda, and other heads of department present here, African National Congress Provincial Chairperson, Mr. Mandla Ndlovu, and the rest of the leadership, and also from the ANC Women's League Coordinator, representatives from organized agriculture, representatives from the business community, representatives of labor federations, distinguished guests and members of the public, Apostle Negros Manana and other pastors present here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Sanbonan Abshin. Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, it is a great honor and privilege to address this esteemed House during this important month of June in our country. The 2022-2023 policy and budget speech is scheduled at a time where South Africa celebrates young people, reflecting back to June 16, 1976. This year's National Youth Day and Month marks the 46th anniversary since the uprising event and will be celebrated under the theme, the year of Charlotte Manya Matlege, Growing Youth Employment for an Inclusive and Transformed Society. Madam Deputy, amongst others, the Bureau of Food and Agriculture Policy estimates that, on average, our country imported over 30% of its wheat from the two countries in the past 5 years. This conflict, with its resultant escalations in fertilizer and related inputs, has already led to drastic operational cost at farm level, with profound negative impact on our communities and subsistence farmers who are poor and on the periphery of economic activities. Madam Deputy Speaker, as we enter the aftermath of the most devastating floods in KwaZulu-Natal and other areas of our country, we cannot but accept the reality of climate change. This reminds us of the need of all of us to urgently increase our commitment in the adaptation of mitigation efforts of climate change. Simply put, it means we must urgently need to adjust ourselves to the current and future effects of climate change. We also need to make the impact of climate change less severe by preventing or reducing the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. On the interventions, Madam Deputy Speaker, modern experts agree that agriculture is the backbone of the world economy, not only for food, but also for development. We are resolute in taking all our resources to increase sustainable food production and contribute to the growth of the economy of our province. Madam Deputy Speaker, allow me to quote Utata Nelson Mandela when he said, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." Close quote. We resolved not to play small by introducing rigorous programs that have the ability to change the landscape of our province, both socially and economically. On employment stimulus and economic inclusion of women and youth, greening of Mpumalanga, as stated in the Honorable Premier State of the Province address in February this year, we are implementing the Greening Mpumalanga initiative along the agroecological zones of the province in line with agricultural and agro-processing master plan and the Mpumalanga Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan. on Hertzibande District Municipality and the Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipality. Honorable Deputy Speaker, having launched the vegetable basket intervention at Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipality in the last financial year. In the current financial year, we will develop the 450 hectares of vegetable production scheme in the 6 land reform farms within the greater Badplaas area. At Ehlanzeni District Municipality and the city of Mbombela, Nkomazi and Bushbuckridge Municipality, we will invest on establishing 20 hectares of citrus, being oranges and nut trees at Mashoboto CPA within the city of Mbombela Municipality, 30 hectares of avocado production at Mbenyamane Farm with Bushbuckridge Municipality, and a further 30 hectares of oranges at Nkomazi Citrus Farm within Nkomazi municipalities. At Nkangala District Municipality under Dr. J.S. Moroka and Tembisile Hani Local Municipality. We will invest in the development and sustenance of the grains in the highly arable land of the comprehensive rural program municipalities of Dr. J.S. Moroka and Tembisile Hani to take advantage of this grain corridor. To this extent, we will develop not less than 1,000 hectares of land, covering a minimum of 145 hectares of sunflower at Marapiane on the Bahatla tribal land, supporting a young women cooperative. The remainder will be hectares of land for maize and legume production. This exciting program is aimed at intensively increasing food production by enhancing production capacity of our farmers throughout the value chain and ensuring that the market demand is met. Honorable Deputy Speaker, for this program to be successful and effective, it will need strong financial material support and collaboration from all the key partners. And in this regard, we acknowledge and appreciate the support from the Minister at the National Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development through the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program, the CASP in short, grant contribution. Madam Deputy Speaker, as one of our great African leaders, Kenneth Kaunda, once said, I quote, "Ambition never comes to an end," close quote. We are inspired by this. On climate-smart agriculture for sustainable food production, the Mpumalanga Agri-Mall, Honorable Deputy Speaker, in her State of the Province address this year, the Honorable Premier said, and I quote, "Working together with Sasol and other stakeholders, we are going to establish an agricultural mall or agri-mall, the first of its kind in the province, if not the entire country. This initiative will see different agricultural developments taking place in one space and completing each other," close quote. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are pleased and thankful to acknowledge that we have since entered into a memorandum of agreement with Sasol. The agreement includes the land covering in extent about 130 hectares that has been made available by Sasol within its vicinity for joint agricultural development to benefit local communities at the governing Pegi local municipalities. Among others, Madam Deputy Speaker, this public-private partnership aims to present a trial site for climate, smart agricultural innovative production, integrating climate, smart growing technologies, and environmental rehabilitation plans such as hemp and bamboo plantations for carbon capture, among others. Over the MTEF, we will use this demonstration site to, among others, introduce innovative growing tunnels for vegetables and cannabis variety testing samples, working closely with the Agricultural Research Council in Mbombela, hemp and bamboo plantation trials, potential solar farm, as well as winter Pink Lady variety apple orchard, and many more other climate-smart agricultural productive initiatives. Cannabis development. Madam Deputy Speaker, the announcement by our Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa that government will be looking to ease policies to help the hemp and cannabis industry has the potential to generate much needed diversity in the market, especially for those communities who have in the past decades survived on this commodity prior to its controversial criminalization for commercial purposes. We are currently having engagement as a department with the South African Health Product Regulating Authority, SAPRA in short, to get guidance on the licensing requirements. Given that this is a Schedule 6 drug in terms of the Drug and Drug Trafficking Act number 140 of 1992. Once appropriately licensed or processed towards licensing are underway, we will resume with phase 1 of the infrastructure development, which entails securing the site, preparing facility designs and preliminary studies towards environmentally controlled tunnel farming of quality cannabis equivalent to 100 hectares. On black breeder incubation programs, Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, one of the main cost drivers in farming is production input, which include seedlings, seeds, fertilizers, and chemicals. In partnership with Agricultural Research Council, we entered into a memorandum of agreement in terms of which we are setting up a black seed plant breeder incubation program for seedling breeding for vegetables, seeds, grains, legumes, and cannabis. Government will be sourcing seeds and seedling from this and other such establishments and distribute to farmers who will in turn supply the government nutrition program through agri-hubs. In addition, we are developing a youth-run black cattle breeder incubation program. The program is intended to address the shortage of heifer usually experienced by our program called Masibiele Esibayin. Calves will be sourced from this incubation program for distribution to qualifying farmers under this program. These programs will address and close the huge gap of supply and demand, in particular the inequality in the sector. Madam Deputy Speaker, world-leading organizations such as National Business Incubation Association are unanimous in that business incubation is an important economic tool to promote industrial restructuring, encourage the development of technology, stimulate job creation, and diversify local economies. On government nutrition, which is the GNP, roll out, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the province will continue to intensify and roll out the government nutrition program. We will continue to support and develop our black farmers to be key players in the whole value chain system and thus unlock the land reform value. Together with the farmers, we have since unlocked many bottlenecks, including the development of GNP sourcing legislation, which we are putting forward soon to this House to ensure, among others, the creation of an enabling environment for investors in the sector. On Mkondo One-Stop Center, Madam Deputy Speaker, we are recommitted towards completion of the Mkondo One-Stop Center. This, however, Madam Speaker, is highly affected by the availability of funds. The recent economic downturn has had a significant impact on how funds are reprioritized. Once completed, the center will be able to service the local and far-flung farmers with the major basic support functions as agricultural office center, veterinary clinic, tractor sheds, and repair and others. On Nkosi City,
Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have noted the opportunities that this development provide for our farming community and the sector as a whole, such as for a sustainable agricultural development, agri-business hub, and agri-village. We have initiated a comprehensive training program aimed at providing potential beneficiaries within this mega project with relevant multidisciplinary skill. We have, in addition, committed in providing necessary agricultural infrastructure, such as borehole, in this financial year. We will, over the coming years, be highly involved in providing support for such a development on fighting poverty and ensuring food security. Phezu komkhono mlimi. Madam Deputy Speaker, the province is predominantly rural, in which most of our rural communities view agriculture as a pinnacle for their economic development. The majority of farms in these communities are family farms where the workforce and capital are already on site. Many are producing for in-house food consumption. To alleviate this burden on our communities, we will continue to provide assistance by plowing, planting, and providing inputs through a highly esteemed program of Phezu komkhono mlimi, a life changer. Madam Deputy Speaker, this program aims to minimize and address the challenges of domination and monopoly of agricultural hubs, agricultural input by big business, the imbalance of primary and secondary production, the boost of the food and boost the food security measures. Through this project, about 17,963 hectares will be plowed and planted for subsistence farmers, emerging farmers, and household. In addition, about 1,560 food gardens will be provided with support that include inputs, training, and markets. On animal production, Honorable Deputy Speaker, animal production is the main dominating farming business in the province. Over many years, we have been supplying our farmers with sets of either large or small stock under the Masibuyele Esibayeni program, as mentioned above. We will continue to provide these farmers with livestock infrastructure, training, veterinary services, and linkages to markets such as feedlots, abattoirs, and auctions. This is in partnership with the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform, and Rural Development. On agricultural training, Honorable Deputy Speaker and honorable members, we are proud to announce that our youth who are interested in agricultural sector are being provided with training through Mpumalanga Rural Skills and Learnership Program. They will also be provided with training in various skills through various programs at our disposal. This is funded through the National Skills Fund and is accredited by AgriSeta. Madam Deputy Speaker, this ANC-led government is making agriculture hype and fashionable to our young people. Soon, our agricultural sector will have the age balance between the young and the aging farmers. On research initiative, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Premier announced in her State of the Province address that research evidence is critical to inform decision-making. Our continuous collaboration of the department with institutions such as the Agricultural Research Council will assist in conducting adaptive research with the farmers in an effort to transfer technologies such as plant cultivars and animal breeds suitable for different agro-ecological zones of the province, as well as cultivars that are adaptable to climate change. In addition, the sector will be fully serviced by our Agri-Laboratory of South Africa, accredited soil testing laboratory based in our Nooitgedacht research farm in Ermelo. The laboratory provides services such as soil testing and giving fertilizer, recommendations to improve productivity of the soil. On foot and mouth disease, the FMD in short. Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, we will continue to intensify all our disease control programs in order to combat disease of economic, trade, and zoonotic importance. The recent outbreak of foot and mouth disease in the country have demonstrated how vulnerable our economy is. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is pleasing to announce that the province was spared from the outbreaks, mainly due to the continued preventative measures implemented by the department. Vaccinations of approximately 100,000 livestock in the control zone of Bushbuckridge, City of Mbombela and Nkomazi municipalities will continue to be carried out to combat this disease. Farmers are urged to immediately report their animals that show any critical signs relating to FMD, such as profuse salivation, lameness, and oral sores. Yes. On effect of natural disasters, Honorable Deputy Speaker, our effort to increase production is faced equally with challenges of adverse natural conditions, such as the recent persistent heavy rainfall. From this, the on and off farm infrastructure in most farms was significantly damaged. In addition, significant number of our farmers lost their crops, which were either waterlogged or swept away. The province is currently doing due processes of assessment for consideration of these areas being declared disaster areas. On climate change, Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, as mentioned above, climate change is the most important environmental aspect facing the world today. As a province, we are stepping up our commitment in advocating and mainstreaming climate change for environmental sustainability, climate resilient, and to transit to low carbon economy in the province and beyond. We have finalized the development of the phase 1 of the Just Transition Plan to transit to low carbon economy that is sustainable and inclusive for all. We also developed phase 2 Just Transition Plan and the establishment of Mpumalanga Just Transition Working Group to coordinate all sector departments, industries, local municipalities, NGO, CPOs, researchers, and funders for the discussion and implementation of all Just Transition plans and projects. The province will enter into MOU with Urban Resilience Research and Advisory, in short, the Trading and Adapt, for the development of Just Urban Transitions project. In addition, we have already signed a memorandum of agreement with Fresh Ministries at Florida and Conservation South Africa for the construction of the aquaponics project at Bushbuckridge in response to climate change innovative project as outlined by the climate change strategies. Deputy Speaker, we have already launched that program that I was talking about at Bushbuckridge. On women and youth and people with disability in agriculture. Madam Deputy Speaker, the department is continuously adapting its models of service delivery with the view of reaching to women, youth, and people with disability. We are putting much effort in ensuring that there is an increased number of youth, women, and people living with disability who are actively involved in the farming sector. We will continue to encourage young farmers to take advantage as provided by programs such as Black Breeders Program and the Mpumalanga Rural Skills and Learnership Program, as mentioned earlier. We also commit ourselves to conclude the consultative process of revision of Mpumalanga Young Farmer Incubation Program, your Fortune 40. The revised program is aimed to be more inclusive in terms of beneficiaries and closely integrated with land reform, farms, and others on cohesion and collaboration in the sector. Madam Deputy Speaker, all the above would mean nothing if there is no cohesion and collaboration in both sectors. It is important that we continue to intensify efforts to transform the agricultural sector and break the silos mentality and unnecessary contestation among the key stakeholders, interested parties, farm dwellers, and communities at large. We must strive towards achieving equity and encourage integrated sustainable production. This to include increased participation by the marginalized sectors of black farmers and achieving much needed balance between production activities and sustainable job creation. In addition, we have initiated the program called Private Investment Partnership Model. The program is aimed at creating a conducive environment that encourages investors in production inputs and capital injection in our project. Engagement are continuing with the key stakeholders such as private business, commodity representative, and farmers towards development of integrated plans such as the National Agricultural and Agro-Processing Master Plan. Honorable members, I am happy that this institution have expressed an interest and willingness to be part of this initiative on good governance and accountability. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is with much pleasure and acknowledge that the department had achieved an audit opinion of clean audit in the last financial year. We are committed to maintain this opinion going forward. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the support by the Executive Council that have assisted the department to cross the 50% mark representation of women in SMS level. As at March 2022, we had reached representation of 65.4% of women, including the senior management services level. Malibongwe, Honorable Deputy Speaker. In conclusion, let me quote the word of Juan Didion, an American writer, open quote, "The willingness to accept responsibility for one's own life is the source from which self-respect springs," close quote. From her State of the Province address, our Premier has clearly laid out the future of the province, and the department will focus on implementation and ensuring that the citizens of this province are well serviced through our programs. I would therefore like to thank our Honorable Premier, Mrs. Refilwe Mthweni-Tsipane, and members of the Executive Council for their guidance and support. Let me also express my appreciation to the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, under the leadership of its chairperson, Honorable Begi Lubisi, the team in my department, led by the head of department, Mr. Kain Mfana Chunda. Thank you for the support and commitment, and also to our external stakeholders, organized agriculture and farmers. Let us continue working together to support our farmers. My appreciation also goes to the African National Congress Study Group under the leadership of the Chief Whip, Honorable F.V. Mlombo, for the guidance and support they have given us. And lastly, I want to thank my family, my husband in particular, for the reliable support I receive. I hereby present the vote to this august House to approve the 2022-2023 financial year budget, which is allocated in 9 programs as follows. On administration, and 6,922,000 rand. On sustainable resource management, 59,955,000 rand. On farmer support and development, 573,787,000 rand. On veterinary services, 152,798,000 rand. On research and technology development services, 60,285,000 rand. On agricultural economic services, 15,692,000 rand. On structured agricultural education and training, 33,214,000 rand. On rural development coordination, 28,807,000 rand. On environmental affairs, 158,058,000 rand. The total allocation of 1,289,518,000 rand. Honorable Deputy Speaker and honorable members, this budget will enable us to deliver on the plans of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, as outlined above. Thank you very much. Ngiyabonga nakhenza.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Shiba, for the well-delivered policy and budget speech. The Secretary shall read the second order of the day.
Order number 2, consideration of a report of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs on Vote 5, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs.
I will now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable B.M. Lubisi, to table the report.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I hereinafter, on behalf of the Portfolio Committee, table the report for adoption by the House. Thank you.
Thank you. I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable B.M. Lubisi. Agreed to?
Agreed.
It's so agreed. The Secretary shall read the third order of the day.
Order number 3, policy and budget speech on Vote 10, Department of Health.
I'll now call upon the MEC for Health, Honorable S.J. Manzini, to deliver the policy and budget speech.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, Umam Tabeta, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable V.F. Mlombo, the Honorable Premier, Mary Philom Tsipane, my colleagues in the Executive Council, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committees that are in our midst, and members of the Provincial Legislature, Leader of House of Traditional Leaders, Executive Mayor, MMCs, and all other councillors, Secretary to the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, Mr. Hubert Chabangu, the DG of the Provincial Government, Mr. Makuku Mampuru, the acting HOD, who is not here, she's having a bereavement of a mother, but there is Umam Aida Makwetla in our midst on behalf of the department, head of other provincial departments, traditional healthcare practitioner, the ANC Women's League Provincial Secretary, and ANC leadership present here, developmental partners, traditional healthcare practitioners, organized labor, hospital board and clinic committees, managers and officials of the Department of Health, people of Mpumalanga province, and distinguished guests. Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, I rise to deliver the 2022-23 budget and policy statement of Mpumalanga Department of Health, which is a concrete expression of our people's hopes and aspirations, especially their desire to access and enjoy quality public health care. I'm deeply honored to perform this noble task on behalf of the government exactly 20 years after one of the most energetic and uncompromising fighters for democracy and better life for all, which includes the struggle for access to decent and quality health care for all, Comrade Peter Mokaba, stopped breathing and fighting when he passed on the 9th of June, 2002. The name Peter Mokaba is worth mentioning today in this chamber, not only because we are presenting the policy and budget statement in Youth Month, and Peter Mokaba was celebrated as a hero of South Africa's youth, but also for the reasons that Comrade Peter Mokaba was among the first young Africans to be given a responsibility to serve our government as a deputy minister in Mandela's first cabinet when he was 36 years old. His work as a young deputy minister serves as an inspiration to many of us who were given similar responsibility at almost the same age. And owing to his great performance, we have made oath never to betray the people's cause, and today's budget and policy statement is a testimony to that commitment. Deputy Speaker, policy and budget speeches are a social contract the people's government makes with the people, and in many instances, we honor our part of the contract. And as an example today, we want to celebrate a young man in the name of Dr. Junior Mkombo, whom is part of the beneficiaries of the provincial government bursary program, which is announced in policy and budget statement at the beginning of the financial year, and is allowed him at the age of 15 years to join the University of Limpopo Medical School and pass medicine to be counted among the youngest doctors in our province and in our country. It is for this reason that I find the task I'm performing today of delivering a policy and budget speech noble and fulfilling, because through it, a child who grew up in bushback regions among the many in the province who have changed their lives and probably those of their families, bringing us closer to our commitment of a better life for all. I doubt there is any better way of celebrating Youth Month and honoring the different generations which fought for youth development than recognizing young people like Dr. Mkombo, which we invited, but she could not make it to be part of this August House. Dr. Mkombo and his cohort, and committing to produce as many as possible. Deputy Speaker, I once stood on this podium and explained that as government, we are engaged in a struggle to create a better life for all in conditions which are not created or chosen by us, but transmitted to us by history. As a result, it is always important for our people to understand the context in which we are striving to expand access to quality public health care to our people in Mpumalanga province. This context is best explained by Walter Rodney in his seminal book titled How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, when he argued, open quote, but in addition, one can see in Africa, and in Southern Africa in particular, the rise of a capitalist superstructure manned by individuals capable of consciously planning and exploitation of resources right into the next century and aiming at racist domination of black people of Africa until the end of time, close quote. This extract is important to understand the problems and calamities in the health sector, the cumbersome task confronting us at the moment. In short, we are reversing plans of denying decent health care to the African majority, which were designed to last for a lifetime, but because of our conviction and commitment to the people who refuse to give up or be distracted. This legacy of inequality in the health sector is not only a South African problem, but a global phenomenon which keeps us awake at night and wakes us up in the morning to strive to do more. And they were best explained by Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, in Nelson Mandela's lecture when he said, I open quote, COVID-19 exposes fallacies and falsehood, including the lie that free markets can deliver health care for all, the fiction that unpaid care work is not work, the delusion that we live in a post-racist world, and the myth that we are all in the same boat. While we are all floating on the same sea, it's clear that some are in the super yacht, which others are clinging to drifting debris, close quote. Deputy Speaker, we are clinging to drifting debris, but doing our best as a department to change the situation of our people, especially rural people, and making them experience what those in super yachts experience. And we do this by doing our best to ensure that we build world-class health infrastructure in rural areas and doing our best to make sure that our health facilities always have the required medicine. This budget and policy speech will communicate our plans of making those clinging and drifting debris have the same experience as those in super yachts as it relates to health issues. Madam Deputy Speaker, as we deliver the policy and budget speech for the Mpumalanga Department of Health, I'm reminded of Thomas Sankara, who told us that there is no true social revolution without the liberation of women. The 2022 World Bank report confirms that South Africa remains the most unequal society in the world, and the gaps between the rich and the poor continue to widen. The World Bank confirms the theory of super yacht and clinging to drifting debris, and it is an undisputed fact that women are part of those clinging on this drifting debris in all facets of our lives. What this means is that we may be struggling to eradicate the triple challenges burden that the women of this country suffered for centuries. The ANC-led government has done well to advance the hegemony of women at the various sites of power and influence. We adopted a policy of 50% gender parity, and we now boast with 50% women representative in executive positions. I'm proud to announce that during our time, the department is on course to achieve the target of 50%, but I can see that the Honorable Shiba, so really 50% as a department, we are moving towards 46%. We are coming close to the senior management. And women, I'm confident that we will achieve this target during the financial year. However, in the corporate space, the picture is grim. And it is still an agenda that as government of the day we still need to push. While we appreciate and celebrate the emergence of women in authorities, position, and various sides of power, we must equally appreciate that we need to accelerate programs aimed at emancipating women. Our inability to do so contributes to the sustained marginalization of women. I want to stand here to mobilize women and men alike to sign a new contract to abolish the scourge of violence against women and children and adopt programs that maximize utility. While doing this, which we have spoken emphatically above, the political and economic emancipation should remain at the tenet of our programs. In the modern day, we must continue to strengthen women to be their own liberators, as proven by their history to stand firmly against the most brutal system against humanity. Women, the pillars of our society, should lead social, economic, and political development if they were to be people-centric. Deputy Speaker, a strong sense of conviction drives me in believing that women's liberation shall yield and develop an equalizer and counter mechanisms to wealth distribution. This shall ultimately benefit society and not only give women the experience of a super yacht, but society in general. Deputy Speaker, COVID-19 continue to mutate and circulate within the communities. Currently, we have not yet excited the COVID-19 fifth wave, and we have noted a slow pace in the number of infections recorded as compared to the previous waves. This can be attributed that people have built up immunity against the virus, either through acquired immunity via vaccine or through previous infections. The department has learned lesson and good practice from the previous 4 waves, and therefore it is very crucial to incorporate all the lessons learned in planning for future pandemics. As of the 8th of June 2022, COVID-19 cumulative cases is 200,446, recovered is 195 and 70, which is 97%, and active cases as we speak is 680, and those that have lost their life is 4,696. As we will be moving from COVID-19 pandemic to an endemic stage, the department is in the process of integrating COVID-19 response into routine health services while maintaining continuity of essential health services. Madam Speaker, we credit our ability to use epidemiological data for case investigation and management, and in the process, we have successfully flattened the COVID-19 curve, and the province has always maintained, on average, a recovery rate of above 85% to 97%. The province has made progress since the introduction of the vaccination program in February 2021. The department adopted and implemented a phased-in approach to roll out vaccination program in the province. As of the 8th of June 2022, a total of 1,359,615 out of 3,050,289, which is 44.6% adult population received the COVID-19 vaccine. And of course, Ehlanzeni district is taking the lead in the vaccination program with 54.3%, and followed by Gersibande at 41.8% and Kangala at 36.6%. Deputy Speaker, I applaud and appreciate 4 municipalities that have managed to vaccinate more than 50% of its eligible population, which is Bushbuckridge, which is at 65%, Gavenpeki at 57.6%, Emakazeni at 54.1%, and City of Mbombela at 51.7%. For ease of access to the vaccination program, the department has integrated the vaccination program into routine healthcare services. The department will continue implementing the existing resurgent plan pillars to mitigate the effect of the 5th wave. The department will also use the very same hospital isolation ward used during the previous waves for basic patient care. We shall still rely on COVID-19 surveillance and case investigation to assist in early detection of clusters of cases as we are at the winter season. Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, on the heels of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, another zoonotic virus seems to be spreading across the globe. Within a short space of less than 3 weeks of May, a cluster of monkeypox cases were reported from the 6th of May 2022 to the World Health Organization from the non-endemic countries and published in the disease outbreak news on the 25th of May 2022. As a country and as a province, we have been on a high alert since the report of the outbreak of the disease abroad, as the disease is easily transmissible from one person to the next by close contact and through respiratory droplets. With free movement of people globally, we are at a high risk of having the disease being transmitted to our country. Therefore, we are treating each and every case presenting with high fever, headache, swelling of lymph nodes, and body rash with high suspicion to be able to identify and also contain the disease early. Deputy Speaker, I call upon all sectors, department, district and local municipality, private companies, non-governmental organizations, and institutions and private individuals as members of the society to continue to work with us to improve COVID-19 response and vaccination uptake and be vigilant about the signs and symptoms on the monkeypox. Madam Speaker, during the 2020-2021 policy and budget speech, as part of my commitment of changing the life expectancy, those in the drifting debris, I introduced a clinic-based model premised at mainstreaming the primary healthcare services delivery system through a strong partnership and involvement of all stakeholders within the communities. The characteristics of the model focuses on strengthening the department's effort on primary healthcare service delivery closest to communities, thus increasing the accessibility and ensuring that COVID-19 related preventative measures continue to take place. Our ward-based model and clinic-based model to the management of COVID-19 has taught us a valuable lesson that are diversified and greater stakeholders' involvement, and that integrated should be the central driver of our primary healthcare response. I have no doubt that with these interventions, our people will have an experience of a super yacht. Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, it is with great pleasure for me to highlight some of the achievements and advances recorded since the delivery of the previous policy and budget speech. As the Department of Health, we are committed to ensure that we served our communities with dignity and improve their experience in our health facilities. We refuse to allow our people drown on those drifting debris, and we will work day and night to give them the experience of super yacht in our health facilities. The department uses the district health system, which is recognized by the World Health Organization as the best vehicle for implementation or delivery of primary health care. And the purpose of primary health care, which is under Program 2, is to render comprehensive primary health care services to our community using the DSC model, which comprises of the district management, clinics, community health service center, and mobile clinics, community-based health services, district hospital, HIV and AIDS, STI and TB control, maternal, child and women health and nutrition, disease prevention and control. Deputy Speaker, our focus, determination, and ultimate success is addressing all the above will result in reduced mobility and mortality, which will consequently result in improved health outcome and increased lifespan. We are determined to increase access to health services, and the department renders health services at different levels of care, regardless of the location and reachability of our community. In areas like remote farms, informal settlement, and rural areas with low population, the department provides healthcare services by means of deploying mobile clinics to augment our 292 PAC facilities, and particularly to remote and farms areas, we have 92 mobile clinics with 2,186 points that service the above mentioned areas. There's still a need for 65 additional mobile clinics to replace and to add to the current fleet. However, due to budgetary constraint, the department has prioritized procurement of 17 mobile clinics in the 2022-2023 financial year to assist in sustaining the service, with an estimate cost for additional mobile clinics with 19,949,262,000. Madam Speaker, to remove health-related barriers to learning through a well-functioning integrated school health programs, we have targeted grade R and grade 1 in quintile 1 or 2 schools receive school health services. The department has established 54 teams comprising of 92 professional nurses that provide school health services to 1,680 schools. Teenage pregnancy is affecting both maternal and neonatal mortalities, as teenagers are more prone to illegal abortion from unintended pregnancies and obstetric complication. Deputy Speaker, during the month of June 2022, we'll be hosting our Deputy Minister, as he will be leading a march against illegal abortions in our province by removing all advertisement on illegal abortions and conduct a youth dialogue on the access to sexual reproductive health services. So, members can assist us. Wherever you see such a post, you don't have to ask, just remove it. And then those people will have to put again, and they will get tired. And then because they will see that as a community, we are now tired of these illegal abortions. To reduce the number of teenage pregnancies, the department is in collaboration with Department of Social Development and Education, continues to monitor deliveries between the age of 10 and 19 years. And the following interventions are put in place: the integrated school health program, adolescents and youth-friendly services, establishment of 131 youth zones implementing health facilities, BeWise, which is an interactive smartphone platform between the youth and health professionals. Madam Speaker, hospital boards and clinic committees play a vital role, governance role, in the operations of our health facilities. At the beginning of the 2020-2021 period, we appointed hospital board for all the hospitals in the province for the next 3 years in line with the National Health Act. The department trained all the appointed hospital board to equip them with the necessary skills and tools to discharge their responsibility. Currently, 30 out of 32 hospitals have boards, and the boards for Impungwe and Waterfall Boven are being finalized. The department has also appointed mental health review boards in the province and all districts to ensure oversight on mental health issues. Deputy Speaker and honorable members, the term of office of the previous clinic committees ended on the 31st of March 2022. Municipalities were engaged to support the nomination process of new clinic committees, which has already been conducted, and the whole process to investigate to be finalized before the end of June 2022. We want to take the opportunity to thank the executive mayors, the clinic committees, organized labor, local councillors, as well as operational managers for their selfless dedication to the governance of our facilities. The department has developed a policy and standard operation procedure to guide the election and functionality of clinic committees with an aim of closing the loophole studies from the operations of the previous committees. Chief amongst these is that independent person from the areas serviced by a particular clinic shall chair the clinic committees, as opposed to what councillors, as it was been in the previous norm in the past. The National Health Act of 61 of 2003 requires that ward councillors be part of clinic committees to act as a link between the community and the facilities. Therefore, their poor participation results in non-functional clinic committees, and ward councillors do not automatically become chairperson of clinic committees, and the power to elect a chairperson shall rest with the committee through a ballot. Madam Speaker, during my previous budget and policy statement, I made commitment that the department will work in addressing diseases of lifestyle. Let me take this through opportunity and present the progress made that far. The department, through the implementation of clinic-based model, which is anchored through a partnership with communities, managed to launch a special project in partnership with the World Health Organization of knowing your NCD status. To date, 1,379,866 citizens managed to test for hypertension and 1,151,147 for diabetes. The department procured equipment to take a blood pressure at facilities level, and 1,000 BP machines were donated to the province by AstraZeneca through the National Department of Health to be used by community health workers to screen people with hypertension. Deputy Speaker, we commit ourselves to continue to implement this program and also encourage all our citizens to come forward and be tested for non-communicable diseases, which are termed diseases of lifestyle. Therefore, it is important that we all live a healthy lifestyle to prevent these diseases which compromises our immunity to fight new infection. Indeed, Deputy Speaker, the global prevalence of NCDs remains a concern, and COVID-19 has exposed the need for the province to accelerate the management and prevention of NCDs. We therefore commit that in 2022-23 financial year, 1,448,859 screenings will be conducted to test hypertension and 1,208,704 for diabetes. Our strategy is focusing on the following pillars: improve community awareness and action on NCD prevention and control, particularly of hypertension, diabetes, mellitus, and chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases through engaging and collaborating with communities. Address NCD's service delivery gaps at the earliest possible stage to ensure screening, diagnosis, and the delivery of required medication through community-based distribution platform. Employ a multi-sectoral approach to recovering and strengthening NCD's services at PHC level. Madam Speaker, as the ANC-led government in the 6th administration, we committed, amongst other things, that we will improve the management and treatment of cancer through the provision of oncology services. I'm proud that today chemotherapy is being provided at Rob Ferreira, and it has been introduced and launched by the Honorable Premier at Witbank Tertiary, so that our patient will no longer travel outside the province to seek help. We will be introducing radiation services during the 2022-23 financial year at Rob Ferreira Tertiary Hospital. Deputy Speaker, in our quest to increase tertiary services, we are forging ahead with our plans to expand radiology services in the province. All our big 5 hospitals, which is your tertiary and regional, are now able to provide early diagnosis and prompt intervention by clinicians, especially when dealing with multi-trauma patients and other life-threatening conditions. Due to limited radiology specialists, we are progressively introducing telemedicine in the big 5 hospitals with specialists. We will offer centralized services to feed the hospital, thereby improving turnaround time for radiology diagnosis report for further management. Deputy Speaker, I reported previously about the increasing exposure to contingent liability due to medical negligence, and our Honorable Premier, in a State of the Province address, she instructed the department to reduce contingent liability by 80% in the short or to medium term, and by more than 90% in the long term. Deputy Speaker, in the quest to achieve the above, we have introduced the following intervention during the 2022-2023 financial year, which is improving records management by digitalization of records in the department and in the main clinical records, which were contributing in us not being able to defend our court cases. 80 million has been set aside, and the project has already been initiated, commenced in Rob Ferreira and Temba Hospital. Appointment of an independent advisory committee on medical legal matters, which will include, amongst others, medical specialists, legal, finance, and actuary specialists. Strengthening the implementation of the two-pronged litigation strategy, and by placing more focus on the clinical aspect to prevent further medical negligence, and also focus on mediation to reduce legal fees. Deputy Speaker, I previously stood before you and reported that that the department is regressing in the implementation of a queue management system across our main hospital to reduce waiting time and improve patient experience of care. Queue management was implemented in Emelo, Witbank, Rob Ferreira, Mapulaneng, and Temba. The department continues to fine-tune this program so that we derive best citizen experience at our facilities. We'll continue to roll out this system to district hospital. In addition, the department is also implementing a patient booking system, which will be piloted at Rob Ferreira, Temba, Emelo, Witbank, and Kwamhlanga Hospital during the financial year. Madam Deputy Speaker, as an ANC-led government, in the 6th administration, prioritized the provision of quality health care for all South African citizens under the government priorities number 3 of education, skills, and health. The Department of Health is implementing its intervention through its mission, which is to improve health status through the prevention of illness and promoting of a healthy lifestyle, and to consistently improve the healthcare delivery system by focusing on access, equity, efficiency, quality, and sustainability. Albeit COVID-19 pandemic, significant strides have been made in the last decade to attain towards ensuring a long and healthy life for all citizens, and we remain on course towards the attainment of the NDP and SDG Goal 3, which is to achieve a health system that works for everyone and produces positive health outcome. We termed it a universal health coverage and finalization of the national health insurance as a health financing model that ensure equity for universal health coverage is on track. Deputy Speaker, the department managed to successfully implement and achieve the following interventions, which are all geared towards achieving our impact goal, which is to increase the life expectancy to 70 years by 2030. According to the Stats SA 2021 midterm population estimates, South Africa life expectancy has slightly regressed from 68.4 years in 2019 to 64.6 years for females, while males are at 62.4 years to 59.3 years. We will continue with integrated effort during and post-COVID-19 to achieve the target for 70 years by 2030. Deputy Speaker, we can see an improvement in the life expectancy in the following outcome goals can be achieved, and I will be briefly outline them below. The department has, over the current MTSF, planned to improve the management of HIV and AIDS through evidence-based preventative and therapeutic intervention for HIV. I'm proud to announce that for the first time since the implementation of the 1990 strategy, Ehlanzeni district managed to achieve all its 1990 targets. We will continue to work as a compact to get the other two districts to achieve their target. The attainment of Goal 2, which is premised around prevention management of TB, remains our concern. TB targets have not been achieved due to the impact of COVID-19. The department will double its effort as we are integrating COVID-19 management together with all essential services in our facilities and was-based PHC outreach program to ensure we track and trace TB treatment defaulters and bring them back to treatment as early as possible. Medical male circumcision is one of the interventions to reduce the transmission of HIV preventative program adopted by the World Health Organization as an HIV prevention strategy. Male circumcision significantly reduces the risk of sexually transmitting HIV by 60% from a woman living with HIV to a man. Deputy Speaker, the province is currently in a season of traditional male initiating schools, commonly known as Ingoma. The department is supporting the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in terms of customary male initiation, commonly known as traditional male initiation. During the CMI season, the department provides medical, clinical, and technical support on the multi-sectoral approach, thus ensuring safety of the initiates in all the initiation schools in the province. This is done through the contracted GPs and implementing partners, departmental officials, and in collaboration with the local traditional leaders and established forums. Deputy Speaker, we are still battling with our maternal and child health indicators which have not been achieved, and it has affected our progress towards attainment of Goal 3, which is targeting the reduction of maternal mortality to below 100 per 100,000 live births, child mortality to 30 per 1,000 live births, infant mortality to 20 per 1,000 live births during this sixth administration. The department will continue to implement our strategies such as emergency triage, assessment and treatment, capacity building for management of obstetrics cases, and the provincial strategy on the campaign for reduction of maternal morbidity and mortalities. The fifth goal focuses on the reduction of injury, accidents, and violence by 50% from 2010 levels. We are prioritizing emergency medical services, and we have set aside 60 million to procure additional or replacement of ambulances, equipment, and advanced life support personnel. This would go a long way in assisting our communities to receive quality services within the norms of 30 minutes in urban areas and 60 minutes in rural areas. Deputy Speaker, the last 4 goals, 6 and 9, focuses on the inputs and processes which are needed to achieve all the aspirations of the National Development Plan and ensuring we have a productive and health of our people. These are the goals, which is goal 6, to complete health system reforms by strengthening the district health system, goal 7 of primary health care teams, goal 8 of universal health care coverage achieved, and goal 9, which is fill posts with skilled, committed, and competent individuals. In terms of our infrastructure, Madam Deputy Speaker, the honorable members, in our effort to expand access to services, this year we'll be opening several facilities which we began building in the previous years. I've received requests and demands from some sectors of the province to increase the operation hours of clinics to 24 hours. However, we must make sure that in terms of increasing the 24 hours, we must also deal with the issue of infrastructure, the issue of adding also your staff, of which is something that will need some budget. It's not easy to just increase hours. It also requires a lot in terms of that. I'm fully aware that some of the clinics are struggling to meet the demand on the communities. In the recent years, we have observed a high rate of mushrooming communities that demand to have fixed structures, even if they do not qualify to have one due to population size. This poses a challenge for us because most of the new areas are highly scattered, disorganized, lack basic services, owing to that the municipality spatial plans does not capture them. We have developed an infrastructure plan on envisaged construction of health facilities in areas that do not have fixed structures. The department will also develop 5-year provincial infrastructure improvement maintenance plan that is aligned to ideal clinic initiative informed by the district plan. However, as you know, honorable members, that government can only achieve this in a phased-in approach given the limited resources at the disposal of our fiscus. The challenges is inadequate budget for maintenance and improvement of infrastructure. Hence, 10 million has been put aside for clinics earmarked to be ideal clinics. Deputy Speaker, I'm proud to announce that this financial year we'll be completing and commissioning the new Middelburg, Yobetal Phase 2, and Mametlake Hospital as one of our high-tech hospitals, which will continue to finalize the remaining project, which is your Mapulaneng Hospital. We'll also be commencing with the construction of the new Linamalaji Tertiary Hospital in Emalahleni Municipality. Deputy Speaker, the Office of the Public Protector raised concern with the overcrowding of our maternity wards at Temba and Kwamhlanga Hospital. To correct this, we'll therefore resume construction of new maternity wards in this hospital during this financial year. In partnership with National Department of Health, we will be completing and commissioning new Balfour CHC in Dipaliseng Municipality and Tandogukanya CHC to benefit the people of Mkondo Municipality and surrounding. Deputy Speaker, the department is heading the call to improve management of mental health care in the province. We are therefore setting aside 30 million to commence with planning and design of the specialized mental health hospital during this financial year. Madam Deputy Speaker and honorable members, Mpumalanga Province is engaged in the climate change discussion and has pursued a journey to consider various strategies towards its pathway to a green and more climate-friendly economy. This is discussion that all of us, both in private and in public sector, must consider as the country transit towards net zero emission by 2050. In the words of Lao Tzu, speaking on the Chinese proverb, said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. And therefore, as a Department of Health in Mpumalanga, I can report that we have started doing some in this regard. I've requested the acting HOD to consult and advise us on the applicable energy mix approach to reduce utilization of diesel, coal, and electricity for reducing the high spending on these items. I have a strong sense of conviction that a mixed energy approach will assist the department to save a lot of money in a long term while we assist the country to reduce carbon emission. Deputy Speaker, the Department of Health, Vote 10, is allocated 16,824,794,000 for the 2022-2023 financial year as per the following budget program. Program 1, which is administration services, has a budget of 3,061,166,000. Program 2, which is district health services, has a share of 10,499,662,000. Program 3, which is emergency medical services, is given 446,077,000. Program 4, which is provincial hospital services, has a budget of 1,649,328,000. Program 5, which is central hospital services, has a share of 1,493,112,000. Program 6, which is health sciences and training services, has a budget of 510,139,000. Program 7, which is healthcare support services, has a total budget of 295,493,000. Program 8, which is health facilities management services, has a share of 1,569,817,000. Deputy Speaker, I'm proud to declare that the department has once again obtained an unqualified audit opinion for the 2020-2021 financial year. However, I must say that there are still few areas of concern which are currently being fixed, which target to reach a clean audit. The achievement of a clean audit outcome will improve confidence of our people in the provision of health services. The department will continue to build systems to detect, manage, and prevent unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. Most important, we will promote accountability on wrongdoing on all officials who are found to be undermining supply chain management prescripts and PFMA. This, Deputy Speaker, we are going to do without fear or favor. We say no to fraud and corruption. We'll reinforce implementation of anti-fraud and corruption strategy so that money is utilized correctly to expand service coverage to those who need it the most. As a department, we are implementing continuous strategies to reduce healthcare costs, surely without compromising service delivery. The strategies, Deputy Speaker, include reduction of overtime by appointing full-time personnel, rationalization of distribution of personnel, including skills mix, using a Wizen tool, and proper management of non-negotiable accounts. Deputy Speaker, the department remain committed in improving revenue generation and management, which, with special focus on funded patients by road accident fund, medical aids, and other departments. The department will, with the support of the provincial treasury, install speed point to improve the payment process, and personnel will be appointed to strengthen collection and proper administration of patients and clients. In conclusion, I will also call upon our refrain from burning and vandalizing the hard-earned infrastructure, including clinics, hospital, and other health facilities and government facilities in general. This can only help to take us backward. Let us embrace the spirit of dialogue and work hand in glove in making sure that we resolve our issues amicably. The vandalism of our health infrastructure impedes on our effort and work of delivering quality healthcare to our people. Let us work together to solving the challenges that confront us together. Remember, together we can do more and create a better life for all. The struggle of removing all inequalities in the health sector and making sure that we all travel on a super yacht cannot happen overnight. It requires resilient, collective wisdom and unmatched love of the vulnerable. I'd also like to thank our stakeholders in the sector Without them, our work would have been close to impossible. I would like to thank all our staff, workers, our frontline workers, led by the acting HOD, for their enduring commitment and dedication. Let me take this opportunity to appreciate their organized labor for its continued support to hold us accountable while representing the interests of their constituency. Deputy Speaker, without committed and active clinic committees, hospital board, mental health board, and other governance structures, the departments would have not accomplished its mandate. The Portfolio Committee on Health has always contributed meaningfully through oversight role to hold us to account on our constitutional mandate, strategic imperatives, and performance plans. I really wish to pause and salute the aforementioned. Lastly, let me appreciate our communities in deepening the function of the clinic-based model to address primary healthcare issues and for their understanding and tolerance amid various challenges. I am indebted to my political home, the African National Congress, for allowing me an opportunity to serve our people. To our Honorable Premier Mayor Philip Tsipane, thank you very much for your sustaining guidance and also the Executive Council. My family has always been a beacon of my strength, which keeps me going amid a lot of struggles. Thank you very much for that conditional love and upkeep. Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, I table these plans for rescuing our people who are clinching on the drifting debris and invite this House to hold myself and the department accountable for the promise of a super yacht experience we are making today. The struggle for a super yacht experience in our healthcare facilities continues. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Manzini, for the well-delivered policy budget speech. The Secretary shall read the fourth order of the day.
Order number 4, consideration and debate on a report of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development, Vote 10, Department of Health.
I'll now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development, Honorable P.S. Ngomana, to table the report.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I table the report which is before us for this August House to accept it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ngomane. I have a speakers list in front of me. The first speaker is Honorable V.F. Mlombo for the ANC 10 minutes. 8 minutes.
Madam Deputy Speaker, thank you very much. Let me again recognize your presence and greet you. To greet the Honorable Premier in her absentia. To greet the Leader of Government Business, Honorable Mashilo. The Deputy Speaker, Honorable Makaring, members of the Executive Councils, honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, members of the public, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Speaker, I was seated there listening attentively, and I can confirm without any shadow of doubt that the African National Congress appreciates and welcomes the budget speech by Honorable M.C. Manzini. We do so because we welcome the progressive posture and the direction of the department in transforming the entire health sector in the province. We do so being cognizant of the fact that the prevailing material conditions in the province and the country are not conducive and favorable because of the ever-increasing socio-economic challenges that our country and the province are in fact experiencing. Madam Speaker, we also do so being cognizant of the fact that our province, the Mpumalanga province, it's mostly a rural province where the majority of the people are unemployed, where 80% of the population is fully dependent on the public health care system for their healthcare needs, where 12.6% of the population do not have access to clean running water, and where a high percentage of the population survives on social grant provided by our democratic government. It is in this context, Madam Deputy Speaker, that the interventions that have been pronounced by the Honorable MEC to try and improve the health sector in the province and the service delivery in terms of the provision of health care are appreciated by the African National Congress. It is also in this context, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that we see this debate as the African National Congress as providing us with a golden opportunity to reaffirm the ANC's policy position, which is to achieve quality universal health coverage through the radicalization of the national health insurance, and also to improve the quality of the public health sector as the backbone for future unified national health system. We are proud, Madam Deputy Speaker, that we have got an MEC who fully understands this policy position which I have just spoken to of the African National Congress. We see her as an ambassador whose preoccupation is to defend, to consolidate, and to advance the gains of our democratic dispensation. We can confirm without any shadow of doubt, Madam Deputy Speaker, that this department is on track in achieving the full transformation of the health sector in the province. We can confirm that this department is on track in ensuring that the people receive quality, affordable, accessible, and universal health care service in the province. This is an MEC who understands that access to quality health care should not be on the basis of your class position in society, but health care is a basic human right. Honorable Deputy Speaker, she understands that most successful nations across the world are those who have invested more in the field of health care. That according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, health is an inalienable human right, and as such, it is important that provinces and national governments should in fact invest more in terms of healthcare provision. She also understands that a healthy population is one of the nation's most important assets, and that a healthy population is in fact a valuable asset in its own right and creates value for that society where that investment has been done. It is in this regard, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that we applaud her for the programs that she has put in place to roll out primary health care in most rural areas of this province, because we know that our province is mostly rural. We applaud her for the building of clinics across the province that makes it possible for the people of this province to access basic health care. We applaud her for the provisioning of ambulances nearly in most rural areas and in most farms they have got access to ambulances, and the response time of the ambulances in the province is slowly and gradually improving. We applaud her for the upgrade and refurbishment of the hospitals. We cannot wait for the construction of the new hospitals, including the Lina Malache Tertiary Hospital in Emalahleni. We applaud her for the construction and the increase in the life expectancy in the province. We note that the life expectancy in the province has increased to 63.4%. And all these initiatives, all these programs which she has introduced are programs that are aimed at ensuring that the program of bringing a better life to the people of Mpumalanga is in fact radicalized. We cannot wait to congratulate her for the formation of clinic committees, because that program ensures that the delivery of health care in the province is in fact taken to the people, and people, they participate in terms of deciding their own destiny. As I close, Madam Deputy Speaker, I must indicate that it is a known fact that no political democracy can survive and flourish if the masses of the people remain trapped in poverty, without education, without health, without land, and without tangible prospect of a better life. So transforming the lives of the people to be better must therefore be the apex priority of any democratic government. As the African National Congress, we accept and appreciate the budget speech by the Honorable MEC, and we give our support to the amount allocated for this department. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Honorable NP Kabela from EFF. 5 minutes.
Pumalab. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Leader of the Official Opposition, Honorable MC Sedibe in absentia, whose reason for not attending this very important sitting today is because of the GBV court case that is attending of Hilary Gadi in the Nelspruit Regional Court that implicates one of the top researchers of this August House. Members of the Executive Council and all honorable members, I greet you. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Department of Health, like we always say, it controls a huge budget, more than any other department in the provincial government, but is the worst in terms of planning and performance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, every financial year we witness the budget increase of the Department of Health, but we don't see the tangible results of it. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the reading of speeches are no longer moving us, as the state of healthcare is shocking, specifically in Witbank Hospital and Impungwe Hospital, respectively. Deputy Speaker, as we are here, the hospital maternity ward and female wards are operating without lights and plugs, where sometimes a cell phone light is used during the delivery. Baby warmers are not working due to electricity problem. The facility is facing. And extension cords are running all over the passages to connect the refrigerators where vaccines and other medications are stored. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is sad to come here today and debate a budget that a quarter of it has already been spent on accruals. This is a clear indication that in this department there is lack of proper planning and management. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are debating the budget when we still have less than 100 functional ambulances in the province out of 460 as required, and the MEC in her speech didn't mention the number of ambulances that the department is planning to purchase, but she's telling us on the millions that is budgeted for. And this tells us that their focus is not on improving the lives of people of the province, or rather I say the department doesn't care much about the people of the province, but spend more money on tenders than that benefits their friends and families instead. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are saying this in confidence that During COVID-19, an amount of 38 million was spent in the name of renovating Impungwe Hospital. But if I can tell you now, there's no sign that shows where such amount was spent. Honorable Deputy Speaker, patients were found lying directly on the mattress covered with plastics as they are without linen. This tells us that an urgent intervention in our health facilities is needed, or more lives will be lost due to the negligent behavior of the management and the Department of Health. Honorable Deputy Speaker, during the MEC speech, she mentioned the finalization of the boards that includes Impungwe Hospital, that on its own confirms the above disaster that I have mentioned already. Deputy Speaker, we're debating this budget vote when there's a shortage of EMS drivers, where budget was reported to be the cause of it, and we're wondering whether this budget will be able to cover that. We debate the budget when our people don't receive the satisfactory treatment in clinics and hospitals across the province. We debate the budget when the mortuary in Mapulaneng Hospital has not been functioning for years, and nothing is done by the department to fix it. We debate the budget when patients who require to be operated in hospitals are told to return back home on several occasions due to lack of mere hospital beds and spaces. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are here debating this budget vote when there's still clinics in our province that have a shortage of staff and security personnel that resulted in the reduction of operating hours, and the Honorable MEC did not touch on how she's going to address the issue since she has received the new budget. We are debating this budget vote where there's a shortage of oxygen and food in one of the hospitals in the province that is supposed to be saving people's lives. As I conclude, Honorable Deputy Speaker, there is a serious mismanagement of funds in this department, which leaves us to wonder whether there will be enough budget that the department will be allocated and do justice to the people of this province by spending it where it's required. Therefore, Honorable Deputy Speaker, as the EFF, we don't support this budget vote, and I thank you. Yes.
Thank you. The next speaker is Honorable Grobler from the DA. 4 minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, as we debate the Mpumalanga Health Department budget, the state of healthcare in Mpumalanga under the ANC is not a priority. Honourable MEC, you say there's ships and boats and super yachts. All I hear is fraud, corruption, maladministration. This has become the order of the day under the ANC governance, and the Health Department is a clear demonstration of how fraud, corruption, and maladministration has destroyed the public healthcare services. The lack of adherence to procurement processes has been the biggest contributing factor to COVID corruption. The citizens of Mpumalanga watched helplessly as instances of grand theft of public funds by those entrusted to serve them. These looters knew no boundaries and continued to loot COVID-19 pandemic funding without any remorse for any of the dying of the deadly virus, including hundreds of healthcare service providers. After what we witnessed with COVID corruption, can we honestly say that we have a caring government? But no worries, many South Africans are losing hope with the current government, and one can clearly see that in the decrease of votes in recent by-election. People are looking for a better life, and it's not under the ANC government. The department seems to be in such a hurry to implement the national health insurance, even though the bill has not been passed in Parliament. Mpumalanga has already implemented it in 3 districts. What's the hurry, MEC? I say again, you speak about super yachts in a derogatory way. And I say, considering the massive irregularities in procurement and high risk of mismanagement of funds, the taxpayers' monies allocated to the program is at risk for fraud and corruption. This all while you yourself have access to private healthcare. The NHI should be scrapped in entirety. The funding should be used towards solving the chronic problems in the sector, such as infrastructure and skills development, as well as ensuring that hospitals are capacitated to supply quality healthcare to all. Capital projects such as the new Mapulaneng Hospital, which's construction has started in 2017 and which the department estimates will be completed in 2027. Why does it take Mpumalanga government 10 years to build a hospital? Similarly, the new Middelburg Hospital also started in 2017 and its estimated completion time is 2023. The current government does not care for the people of Mpumalanga. Mothers are giving birth on the floors of hospitals due to a lack of space, yet there's no urgency. And MEC, here I can really concur with my colleague that just previously spoke. Although we don't agree on many things, we can agree that the Department of Health is not in a great state. Maternal mortality rates have once again skyrocketed, and the blame has always been put on the patient for late presentation for antenatal checkups. But the biggest problem is a shortage of qualified midwives and nurses trained in obstetrics and gynecologists. Mothers being left alone in delivery rooms and babies handled by unqualified nursing staff with bad attitudes. This is the reality of people in Mpumalanga. Honourable MEC, you've been aware of these problems for years, but you do not care.
Round up, Honourable
Robert.
We'll finish. Thank you. Honourable, the next speaker is Honourable Lubisi from the ANC, 8 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Premier in absentia, Mayor Philip Tsipane, members of the Executive Council, honorable members of the Legislature, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it is indeed an honor and distinct privilege for me to take part in this 2022 and 23 budget vote 10 of the Department of Health in this August House. Madam Deputy Speaker, we all know that the ANC-led government has identified health as one of the priority areas that do not only need urgent attention, but requires all of us to work together in developing a long and healthy life for all our people in our province. The main objectives of the Department of Health, among others, are to improve hospital services through improved effectiveness and general management of the hospital-based resources, to develop the primary health care and the district health model. During our deliberations and interactions with the Department of Health, the committee noted the progress report, and acknowledged the efforts of the department to address several challenges within the department and their efforts to address the challenges faced by the department. In an overview, the Honorable MSc indicated that several challenges were identified in her department, which saw some children dying from malnutrition despite all efforts that the government has put in place. The MSc further highlighted that the challenges of mental health and that led to suicide that took place in one of our health facilities recently. There is a need to provide psychological support in the primary health care facilities. The Honorable MSc indicated that the department has planned to prioritize the digitalization of records, which is the development that will address the issue of lost files in our health facilities and contribute to the reduction of litigations in the department. This will improve the record keeping and files will be best stored digitally. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the committee has noted with satisfaction the implementation of the NHI components on quality care and infrastructure delivery, and the maintenance is being implemented in the 3 districts while National Department of Health is finalizing the NHI bill through parliamentary processes. In this manner, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we can clearly see that there is indeed a bright light in the end of the tunnel. That is, our province will soon emerge victorious out of these adverse healthcare challenges. The department is also concerned with the rise of numbers of COVID infections. There is a need for numbers of the public to continue to observe all health protocols. It was reported that on the 24th May 2022, the province has recorded 170 new cases that bring the total cumulative figure of positive cases to 199,055. With 1,375 cases, active cases, while the vaccination coverage still lingering on or at 44.19%, with Ehlanzini leading with 53%, followed by Khatsibande 41%, and Kangala at 36%. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this vaccination coverage rate is also not fulfilling at all. The committee noted with satisfaction that the department has conducted 358,946 men medically circumcised, which include the traditional men initiation schools since 2014. It is indeed pleasing to learn from the Honorable MSc that the department is working in partnership with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs and the House of Traditional Leaders and Ingoma Forum to ensure that the illegal initiation schools are eradicated and there should be no more deaths of inmates in this province. The committee noted with great dissatisfaction that the community healthcare centers in the province do not meet the required standard on ideal CHC as required by the ideal CHC 2. The committee also noted the blood pressure machines are malfunctional and that there are irregular pre-packing of drugs and long waiting period in our healthcare facilities. It is indeed a great pleasure to learn that the department has planned to procure 10 additional ambulances to strengthen the emergency services. This will improve agency in the emergency services, which is EMS. As I conclude, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I therefore move that this August House adopt and approve the budget of 16,904,637,000 for the Department of Health as requested. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Visi. I'll now call Honorable Weber. Three minutes, Freedom Front Plus.
Madam Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to thank the Honourable MEC for the kind presents that were given to me this morning, but I want to put it on record that I'm deeply disappointed. I was presented with these condoms And I'm disappointed. You know I prefer strawberry flavor, and you're giving me banana flavor. Why do you do this? This does not serve our beautiful relationship that we have with one another. We must build. Now, Speaker, sedert die nuwe bestel in werking gestel is, die nuwe demokratiese bestel, is daar 'n klomp planne gemaak. Daar is 'n klomp nuwe reëls en nuwe regulasies ingestel, als met die doel om die gesondheidsstelsel te verbeter. Ongelukkig het ons steeds probleme. Die siektes neem toe. Ons gesondheidsstelsel werk nie soos wat ons dit graag wil hê nie. Maar om daardie rede het ek moeite gedoen om te kyk wat kan ek doen. And I want to put it on record, Madam Speaker. I am here as opposition party, and I will challenge the views of the governing party, but I'm here to build. I want you to succeed. I want our province to perform. I want the Honourable MEC to perform, notwithstanding the fact that I disagree with policies. And that's the reason why I decided to bring a guest to your department, a private company which is prepared. If there are accidents where the patient was innocent, that they will, if the hospital can't treat them there and then, if there are serious injuries, they are prepared to, without any cost to the department, take that patient to a private hospital, employ a specialist to do the operation that's necessary. Everything free of charge, everything free of charge. And I urge the Honourable MEC to accept the offer that was made. It was made to your department last week. I believe that if you accept this, I think your department will perform and you as an MEC will shine. But there are still problems in our province, Madam Speaker, Honourable MEC. Daar is ongeveer 8 dokters vir elke 100,000 mense in ons in die Eslanzeni omgewing. Daar is hierdie bevolking is omtrent 1.7 miljoen. Daar is net ongeveer 10,000 gesondheidswerkers, 1,000 dokters, 70 mediese spesialiste ensovoorts. Maar ons het steeds probleme. Dit is heeltemal te min. Ons kan nie met hierdie situasie voortgaan nie. En daarom wil ek pleit dat ons weer eens kyk na die begroting, dat ons die saak regstel.
Honourable Weber.
Yes, I will do so, but there's something very important that I still have to tell you.
But this time up.
Now, about 88% of the population of our province.
Time up, Honourable Weber. Time up.
Have I finished?
It's time
I'm disappointed. There was something very important that I wanted to tell you.
Yeah. Thank you, Honourable. Thank you, Honourable Weber. The next speaker, it's Honourable P.S. Ngomane from the ANC. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. MEC of Health, members of the Executive Council, honourable members, Secretary of the Legislature, heads of department, people of Mpumalanga, I greet you. It's unfortunate that all members of the opposition, Honourable Grobler, Honourable Mkhabela, and Honourable Weber, all of them, they are part of the portfolio committee where I'm coming from and I'm leading. They never, in the portfolio committee, raised anything which they are raising here. And they come here and raise these issues as if
Honorable
they
members, honorable members,
they never raised
I never, sorry, Honorable Ngomani, I did not recognize you, Honorable Grobler and Honorable Nyembe. And you know you know that we need to respect the House. You must raise your hands, and then I know too. Then you raise your comment. You may take your seat, Honorable Ngomani. Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. As EFF would like the Honorable Ngomani to withdraw what he's telling the House because he's lying in daylight. We raise these issues in the department and they always have answers that are covering their corruption. Thank you.
Your hand is up. I'm noting you, Honorable Weber. Honorable Ngomani.
No, what I raised here, I'm saying they never, and I repeat, we never discussed what they are raising here. And all members of the portfolio committee, they will agree with me. I want to believe the way they raise, they are trying to canvass votes, and we are not here to canvass votes. We are debating. Therefore,
you may take your seat, Honorable Ngomani. Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I am rising on a point of order because the member is misleading the House, but that's what happens if you go off the speech that was written for you, and then you start speaking things that you don't know of, and then you waste your own time. Can you please withdraw the fact that opposition parties have never raised the matters that we have risen here? Because I know for a fact that the things I spoke about on behalf of the Democratic Alliance has been risen with this MEC, previous MECs and the department on various occasions. So please withdraw the fact that we have not risen this matters.
Okay, honorable members, I'm ruling on this matter to say, isn't it everything in the legislature we are recording? I'll make sure that in the next sitting, I'll check with the Hansard that have you ever raised this matter in our committees, and then I'll come back and respond in the next sitting.
Speaker.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I think you ruled on this one.
No, you're not the Speaker.
Honorable Mfokeng, I have ruled unless you don't talking on the same matter.
I agree, Speaker, you have ruled, but I'm just want to let you know that room 4, 5, 6, 7, your handset has not been working for the past 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. So there were renovations. So it's not going to be proper for you to say you're going to catch it. I'm just letting you away.
The recording is doing with a small thing like it's a cell phone. So those small togolwan, it's recording. Don't worry. Honorable Ngowan.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I want to indicate that if you raise this matter with the MEC, we didn't hear in the legislature, in the portfolio committee. But I still say it's fine that way. We move with great humility to ask the House to adopt the budget vote of the Department of Health, vote 10, amounting to 16,884,794,000. This budget will give practical meaning to President Thabo Mbeki's assertion that, open quote, steadily the dark clouds are lifting, giving way to our season of hope. Indeed, the support of this budget vote is informed by the brick by brick we are laying in creating a season of hope to all our people in need of health service. We advance that the House adopt this budget mindful of our commitment made in our 2017 National Conference that, open quote, Cabinet must ensure that health budget allocations are improved and baseline is reconsidered to address the many health challenges we concede. The Department of Health should use the Health Council of further advance the resolution of 2018 Health Summit of ensuring that Health Department baseline is adjusted upwards to ensure proper funding of health provision both in our country and in our province. We move for adoption mindful that this budget is not adequate for the health needs of the society. However, the department should use this budget to seriously resolve human resource challenges in health facilities through the implementation of workload indicators of staffing needs tool. This budget must transform at least one 24-hour clinic per district into a proper resourced, staffed and functioning community health center with the requisite equipment and personnel. We are of firm view that the Department of Health has a duty to use this budget to ensure proper infrastructure management and maintenance of all facilities in the province. The facilities that need upgrade must be upgraded. Those that need to be rebuilt need to be rebuilt. New facilities must be built. The Department of Health must effectively use these resources that we are passing today here to review its referral policy to ensure that patients are referred to facilities near their residential areas to ensure that inpatients are visited by families and loved ones. The situation taking place in KwaZulu-Natal, where patients are referred to 62 kilometers in Middelburg, living in a 35 hospital in Carolina and 45 hospital in Bethel, should be reviewed. Deputy.
The next speaker is Honorable MEC Manzini.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Let me take this opportunity and thank the Chief Whip of the Majority Party because he understands our responsibility and he understands what the department mandate is and also the budget allocation He does not come here to dream during the day, but he comes here representing the majority of the voters that through our manifesto voted for the African National Congress. So if somebody comes here and talk about the ANC losing votes, I don't know whether they are still in the province, because the ANC has been retaining our own wards during the by-elections.
Speaker, can I be protected and be noticed, please?
May you take your seat, Honorable MEC?
Yeah, Speaker, I think if I'm not mistaken, you already ruled on Rule 118, subsection 1B, in that you're going to check that side, including oversight. So the Honorable MEC, she's busy provoking and also calling us that we are dreaming. So I'm not sure even yourself you are dreaming, because it was only mentioning that side. Thanks.
Can I proceed, Deputy?
Yeah, you can
I think
proceed.
Apostle Manana is here. We need prayers. You must pray for us, because even now I'm talking about something else. The honorable member is talking about something else. I'm not even there. I'm coming. I'm not even there. I'm still talking about Honorable Grobler and the votes. When I have jumped already, you knew that we know that I'm going to respond. Hence, we are even can't even wait. Yeah, Honorable Mlambo, as I've said, you understand, you respect even portfolio committees. You know that there is an annual plan that the department will present. You understand and the expectation, because today we are presenting a budget. Honorable members are here. Tomorrow they will come and say we are able to do certain things. With what? Because we are presenting the budget that is allocated to us as a department. But we even go beyond that and go and look for private sector to assist us, to partner with the department, so that, because we care about our people, so that services continue to be provided to our people. And we are going to continue to do that, because people like the chief whip of the majority party makes us to work even more, because at least we have got hope that when we stand up here and present, they listen. And then after some time, they know that after 3 months, we'll go to the portfolio committee and give progress in terms of the annual plan and what we said we are going to do. Maybe they must go and reject then when you present the annual plan and the budget and say, we are not accepting this because you want you to do, have a budget of 50 billion to implement what we want you to implement. And in terms of responding, we do give a response. We respond to any, whether you're a member of the community, whether you're an honorable member, you give us a call, you write to us, we'll respond. Then the question is whether, do you want that response or you want us to do what you want us to do, even if we are saying we are unable to do? Because one of our principles as a department, we are not going to respond for the sake of pleasing you. We respond based on, because we are taught in the African National Congress where we come from, that you must tell the truth. If you're unable to do certain things, tell that person in front of you. Whether the person likes it or not, that's a response. So if you're saying we're not responding is something else, response we give. And the portfolio committee, the deputy speaker, they even say, it's either respond now or you respond in writing. We do that. Because at no stage, Chief Whip, have you received a complaint saying we don't respond? So response we give, you can rest assured, in verbal, telephonically, and we even respond to the communities, Abelungbe too, which are our voters. I'm happy because Honorable Ubeg, you know, it's very painful to come here with a speech. You even embarrass yourself. We did not say anything about ambulances. When I was standing here just now, indicating the allocation, but at least because there's a package, if Honorable Mkabele missed that, as she arrives at home, she'll be able to go, and maybe by that time she'll go through. I just hope and pray, but I believe Apostle Mananola Leloya Tandas, she'll go back and open the speech and be able to read what we said. Because we can't come here, when we are responding. We said here, in terms of the allocation, as I'm saying, now it's black and white.
MEC, honorable members, please, Let us respect the House, please.
And as a department, Deputy Speaker, we have done, we are not where we want to be in terms of accruals. We have moved from 700 million to 400 million. We are working very hard to make sure that we reduce our accruals in the department. The SIU is the ANC-led government that brought SIU to be able to investigate corruption, Honorable Krobler. And any person who's found to have got stolen or any corruption, they are dealing with them. There are those that are suspended in the department. So it's not somebody else or maybe DA that brought, it's us as an ANC-led government because we want to deal with corruption. So be rest assured, you are even reading about this thing after 1994 when the ANC is in charge. Before you were not even presented with any corruption. We are reading that there were a lot of corrupt activities. But because we're not even told what is happening in the government, we just follow us. But because the ANC-led government has liberated our people, now they are able to know what in government there's corruption. This word you only learned after 1994 when the ANC is in charge of this government. Before, when you never knew, you could not ask anyone. But you understand better. If you can ask, they will tell you those who were leading before why they were not doing that. In terms of... And I'm even embarrassed. I'm even embarrassed that there's an honorable member who claimed to represent the majority of our people to be raising that NHI is not good for our people. What do you mean? Because today, I'm standing here as an MEC unable to provide certain services because of the...
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable members, can you please respect the decorum of the House?
Speaker.
Just raise your hands if you want to say something, Honorable Krobler.
Okay.
Can you take your seat, Honorable MEC, Honorable Chief Whip?
Madam Deputy Speaker, can we again call on the opposition to respect this House? They know the rules. They know Rule 37 that it does not allow them to interrupt a speaker when she is on the platform. Go to your rules. Look at Rule 37. It tells you that you don't interrupt a speaker or a member when that member is speaking. So please, honorable members, let's respect the House. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Order sustain, Honorable Chief Whip.
How?
Honorable Nyembe.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise to raise a disappointment in you. When the speaker is the Honorable Manzini is speaking and he's telling lies, we are laughing. And when Honorable Mashilo is also speaking, you don't confront him and say he mustn't disturb the speaker. But if it's the opposition, you are fast to say we must raise hands. But he didn't raise hands and he was speaking and you were laughing. That's a disappointment to us.
I never see Honorable Mashiko, I mean Honorable Mashilo or Mashiko, Honorable name. I was watching this side because a lot of noise were coming this side. And if it's that, my apology, I'm not laughing. I was just saying there's a lot of noise this side. Let us respect the decorum of the House. But then, Honorable Ngomane.
Is it parliamentary to say our honorable MEC is lying? If it's not parliamentary, this comrade must withdraw. This honorable member must withdraw. I think it's not parliamentary. We respect our MEC. So if it's not parliamentary, Deputy Speaker, you must withdraw. Through you, Deputy Speaker.
She said that now.
Who said that, Honorable Ngomane?
Yeah,
Honorable Nyembe said our MEC is lying.
Honorable Nyembe, if we have said that, can you withdraw?
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I withdraw the lying, but she is misleading. Thank you.
Thank you. You can come in, Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much. We understand our responsibilities, members of the Executive Council. And there's no way that you can come, whether we lie, we mislead, or whatever weight. We're not going to do that. I was still saying, Honorable Grobler, that only an organization that does not represent the majority of our people in this country will say NHI is not going to assist us as a country. Because I'm standing here unable to deliver on certain services that we know we're supposed to deliver because of the manner in which the budget is allocated, especially on the health in the country. So when we are saying we want to correct that, you don't want to support the ANC-led government on a progressive policy that will make sure that even if there's an accident and yourself, you are carrying, or maybe your grandmother is, my grandmother does not have a medical aid, and the ambulance comes, they won't ask whether you do have a medical aid or not. They will ask who's more critical, and they will take that person to the nearest hospital, irrespective of what kind of hospital, to the nearest hospital. But if you are here and you are representing, of which I doubt that you are representing the majority based on what you are saying, it means you are saying the status quo, it suits you, because the constituency that you are representing are benefiting out of the inequality that we are facing as a country. But the ANC-led government and us who are representing the majority of our people, we are saying we are not going to sit here and we are not going to continue and allow our majority of our people to suffer while we are able to put policies that will be able to benefit the majority of our people. So be rest assured that we are going to make sure that we implement the national health insurance because that represents the majority of our people in our country. Honorable Weber, I missed most of what you were saying. The only thing that I've heard, because ukhulume ngesizulu, ile ma condom strawberry. So the other part I've missed it. Ukhulume ngeAfrikaans ngibathe ngiyapressa ngithi madile uzonginceda azange khona ukuthi I could not hear what you were saying. But I hope that whatever input you were giving in the House, it was for the benefit of our people because you represent the people. Or I heard you saying that there was a presentation. If there's a presentation that is for the benefit of our people, the HOD and her team will be able to come back to us and advise to say, is it something that you can do or whatsoever? So if it's something that will benefit our people at no cost, I don't think that is something that we can reject, but we'll look at it, what is it in that presentation, and whether as a department, as a province, are we going to benefit out of that. Honorable Ngomane, thank you very much also for your input and for your referral policies that you indicated that we need to make sure that we find a way to assist. But also, as members of the provincial legislature, because when we are going to implement NHI, we must make sure that from time to time we prioritize primary health care. Primary health care meaning that you must go there, you know your health status. From time to time you visit your clinic so that you can be attended early, so that it does not become, an emergency does not become out of you not being attended earlier. Because the reason why there's a clinic, there's a district, there's a regional, there's a tertiary, is that if you are taking care of yourself, you'll first go to a clinic. And if you are attended at the clinic level, you'll then be referred early. You will be referred to a district, then your regional and whatsoever. So that's what currently the setup, and if we can all assist in terms of the constituency that we are having, to say, sonke as Pagameli impilo yetu, We must make sure that we go to your clinic, see check from time to time, so that if there are certain diseases that we are having, we attend to it earlier. Most of the time, ungafiki sekuthiwa hayi ufike late say imdle kakhulu i-cancer imdle kakhulu ngabe ufike early whatsoever ngabe ufike early ngabe semncedile. So if we can work together and make sure that as part of our responsibility working with the municipalities in the ward level, we prioritize educating our people to say they must use the clinic. Even if you feel like, sometimes you might feel like you're not sick, but you're sick. So these are the things that we are trying to do. But thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity. And as Department of Health, we are taking all the input that will assist the department. That's our attitude. Anything that want to distract us, anything that will make us not even focus on the correct things of saving the lives of our people, because the Department of Health is about the lives of our people, and we'll focus on doing that all the time. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. That concludes the debate of the budget vote 10. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable P.S. Ngomane. Agreed to?
Agreed.
That brings us to the end of the morning session, and the proceeding will be suspended until 2:15 in this very same chamber.